Hello, checking in with the final chapters of He Knew He Was Right, chapters 91 to 99, 99 being the conclusion. So, in these chapters, they do get um, Louis Trevelyan back to England. He is not doing well. He is really, really, really messed up. Um, though his doctor preserves in saying that, like, no, he's mostly just ill of body, not of mind. That, insane jealousy isn't insanity. It's because this is a world of men of men in control. Male jealousy can't be a thing of insanity, apparently. Um, and it's funny how he talks about Trevelyan will be kind of muttering about kind of Othello and stuff like that. A very play where it is insane jealousy caused by Iago, not in the basis of anything that causes him to murder his bride, but in that thing. But yeah, it's and indeed, she in the end, Emily has to basically kind of agree with him, say yes, I am guilty. She has to kind of give in to him to get him to kind of them to get him back to England, to get him back into safety. And then, indeed, she at one point she does say, like, do you have to? Like, I've been true to you. I've been true to you. I've done everything I can for you. And that kind of revs him up again, and kind of he collapses. And the doctor says, like, you just have to agree with him, because you do it, you say anything else, you'll just kill him. Which, if this isn't the definition of insanity, what this has done to this guy's body, I don't know what is. Um, in the final moments of this life between this husband and this wife, a moment that Trollope makes a point of saying that she never shared with another human lips. She's at his deathbed, and she again just sort of asks for his forgiveness, and it's like, just kiss my fingers if you forgive me. And she puts her hand to his lips, and his tongue works, and he I don't even think he articulates something. His tongue works, like he kind of moans. But she takes this as a full forgiveness, which she desperately needs for her happiness. And indeed, that's how she kind of casts it as, is that in the end, he totally forgave me, even though she never really shares. It was basically his dried lips on her fingers. And I mean, it's kind of a very striking, just kind of deeply intimate, deeply, I don't know, personal moment there at the end between this husband and this wife. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, in the conclusion, Trollope says the maniac is dead, and indeed, he was a maniac who just tortured his wife. And for whatever her faults were at the beginning, he just went off the deep end on her. He overreacted, and he let it consume him, and he just couldn't let it go. And I do look at it as kind of the contrast with Miss Standish, and that she actually just she does give in. She lets Dorothy marry. Is it Dorothy? I think it's Dorothy marry Hugh, because Nora and lets Nora marry Brooks Berkeley, or whatever the fuck his name is. She kind of, it becomes flexible and allows that, and indeed even lets her greatest enemy, the uncle Burgess Brooks, into her house to kind of offer terms. And as a result, she gets to kind of live out her days in the bosom of kind of love of Dorothy, and Brooks. And you know, have kind of a rich final years, whereas Lewis loses his life, loses his child, you know, loses his mind over this because he was right. This whole thing about being right. It's like, is it better to be right or to be happy? To be accommodating, to a right over something that was not worth it. And indeed, General Osborne is just kind of, he's not even discussed in these final chapters. There was a call there of like, oh, he's going to get married off to somebody terribly, possibly, terrible. I was thinking Camilla French, but no, actually in the end, Camilla French even kind of comes to some sort of agreement with with Arabella and Gibson, and that is kind of settled in a kind of a very gentle Trollopian way. Yeah. So this is an interesting book, a challenging Trollope, I find. Challenging just because of Louis Trevelyan and Emily Trevelyan for a large part of it. I didn't care about. I do come to care about Emily. Louis becomes just sort of an object of pity, of just like, pathetic, of how pathetic he is. Not a tragic figure, but just an object of pity. Yeah, just someone who pathologically just had something wrong with him in the end, just beyond the bounds of reason, really. At least that's how I view it. I think at the beginning of reading this, I was like, oh, we all have that kind of the green-eyed monster, that jealousy that could kind of consume, but like you have to kind of let it go. You have to let it go. It will kill what you love and kill what you treasure. Yeah. So yeah, that will be an interesting book to do a review of. I will let that percolate. I will try and make some notes and just let that percolate so I can do a review. I'd be interested to hear at some point if Steve Donahue does actually pick it up. I would be interested to hear why he picked this particular Trollope. I can see why Trollope himself may be not that satisfied with it. Be interesting to hear what he says. And yes, maybe I will pick up that other Trollope for November. Or maybe I'll skip November and do that in December, because Jesus, I'm going to have some work to do. Though an audiobook is an audiobook, I guess, and that month in November, NaNoWriMo is what I'm thinking of. It's going to be a hard month for me. Well, it's going to be a challenge. NaNoWriMo will be a challenge this month. But this is not my Preptober video, so I'm not going to talk about that now. Yes. Okay, so that's my check-in of my last check-in for He Knew He Was Right, and a review will come after this. All right, more videos later.